Na 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 na. Hello, hello. I'm Joe.
I'm Ashley.
And together we are Geek to My Nerd, and you are here for our fourth and I guess right now our final installment of actual Jurassic June.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless the next Jurassic movie comes out in June of
Yeah.
another year,
Yeah.
another time, in
And
another town.
we could be anybody we want. We could stream anything we want.
Yeah.
So yes, this is our episode over Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom, which is honestly an incredibly long and annoying title to have to keep referencing to. At least Jurassic Park, the original series, had like nice, neat titles, even if two-thirds of them weren't fantastic.
Well, I mean Jurassic Park,
Lost
the
World.
World, but it was also the Lost World Jurassic Park, so that way people wouldn't get confused.
Right, but you still knew like
Yeah.
going into it. And then Jurassic Park 3, easy enough.
Yeah. Inconsistent naming conventions. Hello.
You mean the alien naming conventions?
Yeah. Alien, aliens, alien.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's way off topic.
It is. It really is.
Everyone say hello to Tib.
Hello, Tib. Hello, she's like right by the mic right now. In the chat currently, we have Cal, the Kingslayer, over at Kingslayer Network. Welcome. He does streams here and on Twitch daily. Like 4 hours of my day can be filled with Cal. And that's awesome. So go give him a like and a follow over there. Jurassic World 2. Why aren't there dinosaurs in this movie? Huh. So why don't we jump right in and get started?
Alrighty.
So it opened, I guess, technically Friday, but Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom.
Yeah, so like with the other shows that we do in our series, we're going to do a little overview with some facts, our gripes and likes, our most important scenes, and because this is a new movie, what we felt was the most potential for memes, and then dinosaur facts, because there are several new dinosaur species that have not appeared in the Jurassic series on film yet. And that'll be it.
So, starting with our facts, our data.
So, yes, this did come out on Friday. The official U.S. release date was June 22nd. We are changing directors. The last one was directed by Colin Trevorrow. This one is directed by J.A. Bayona, who, if you've seen A Monster Calls, he's directed some other things, but that's the one that sticks out in my mind the most. The budget was $170 million. As of right now, they're showing that it's opening #1 in the U.S., that its opening box office is in the $150 million range.
And 1,000.
Yeah, and then that 1,000. This could change slightly, of course.
Yeah, by the end of tonight.
And the worldwide box office, because the movie has been out in the other parts of the world, including the United Kingdom, since the beginning of the month. So it's already at over $700 million.
I just want to say hi to Janine in the chat, who does the fantastic design work for us. But yes, moving on to the next port.
All right, so gripes.
And we start with them gripes. There's quite a bit.
A lot more than so even probably some of the other Jurassic movies in the original trilogy.
Hashtag retcon.
So we have this old man, Mr. Lockwood, whose first name escapes me, but
Farmer Hoggett Lockwood.
Yeah, Farmer Hoggett Lockwood. So they just kind of out of nowhere make up this half of the backstory that, oh yeah, John Hammond had this other partner that we're just totally going to mention right now, and they had a falling out, but this is the other guy that has rights to everything Jurassic related.
A quick thought, you think he's supposed to be like a reimagining of the guy who was the genetic genius behind the dinosaurs from the book? Because in the movie, they're like, Dr. Henry Wu is our genius scientist that solved all these problems and made the dinosaurs. But I remember in the book, Wu was this other guy's apprentice, and he passed away or something. I can't remember the dude's name.
I can't remember either, maybe, but either way, like this whole backstory of they had a falling out is totally invented and out of nowhere. And I think they even get John Hammond's name wrong in the movie. They call him by a different middle name that I can't remember if it's from the book or some other source, but I remember thinking in the theater, I'm like, that doesn't sound right. No, but I can't remember exactly like what the misnaming was.
We've only gotten to see this movie once. We've had a very busy weekend, so yes, we are running off of one viewing.
So yeah, this is this out of nowhere. Like I didn't mind the character, and I thought like it was kind of interesting with that aspect, but I just didn't appreciate the you didn't know da.
It almost would have been better if this guy was like the founder of what was the other company?
Oh, the rival company.
Yeah.
Biosyn.
Yeah, if he was the founder of like Biosyn and he was like in his last days, he turned over a new leaf kind of thing. I think that would have been better.
A better segue, or a better relationship.
A better new Hammond.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because this guy seems like a nice person. Seems to care about his family and such. And apparently there's more than one of those Amber Canes.
Unless that was Hammond's.
Yeah, unless it was Hammond's, but who knows? All right, and so Lockwood has a granddaughter, Maisie.
And we will, as a quick warning, and I'll say this warning out a couple of times, we are going to talk about spoilery stuff eventually. And yeah.
Well, I think right now.
Yeah, we're getting to that now. That's why I was doing that now. So if you haven't seen it and you care about spoilers, be wary.
And she's, a very curious young character. I didn't mind any of her character.
Yeah.
She seems like she would be like a typical, like if you were raised in isolation.
Yeah.
Kind of. But she has a lot of empathy.
Yeah.
But
she's a sweet girl.
She is a sweet girl.
She's also a clone.
She's a clone.
She's a clone of her mother, even though it's not her normal, like it's not a typical situation that they lead you to believe early in the movie.
Yeah, they definitely saved this till way later, but all of the hints are there because this was spoiled for me when I was doing research for the other shows where I was trying to find like all the genetically modified creatures on the island. They have her listed in the Wikipedia, which is so rude.
Well, I mean, it's a Wikipedia. I'm not saying it's right, but it's a wiki.
So I could, so I knew that I couldn't forget it. Like, I tried to like wash it from my mind, but it was there for the whole movie. It didn't ruin the movie for me, but you could definitely, they were dropping the hints the whole time where like he has like this scrapbook of pictures, and there's like a picture that is like tucked away. Yeah. And
it's definitely better fed to you. Like this information is better fed to you than finding out Prompto is a Magitech created clone being from Final Fantasy 15. Sorry.
I don't get that reference.
I know. That's fine.
It's cool.
It's frustrating.
And another thing is they talk about like her mom had been on the island. So I'm just thinking like canonically, it's like, well, the only two women that have been on the island were Ellie and Sarah. So
well, no. Malcolm's daughter.
And Malcolm's daughter, but just saying she doesn't look like she would be Malcolm's daughter.
No, but her being on the island makes sense if that's the facility they used to clone her.
Yeah.
So
who knows? But
regardless, it was frustrating.
So this is the reason why Lockwood and Hammond split up, because he was grieving and he cloned his daughter so that he could have her in his life again.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was just like, why? Why are we going here?
Why wouldn't they? I mean, it feels like if they're making dinosaurs from scratch, then making a human is not that difficult.
Well, and then there's like so many other questions that this raises.
Yeah. Did they have to fill in her gaps of DNA?
How many times did they have to try to do this to get it right? And this raises, it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, if you don't think about it too hard, it's not problematic.
But that's this movie. Yeah. If you don't think about it too hard, it's really great.
Yeah, it's just,
moving on.
I just don't know. We could talk about this all day, but we're not going to. All right, so Claire, not that she's a bad character, but like, are her new emotions about dinosaurs 100% earned based off of what we saw in
I think so.
Jurassic World?
It's been 3 years, and she seemed pretty shooken up by the apatosaurs in the first one in Jurassic World. So, Cal thought that the daughter was the little girl from Jurassic Park, or she was the girls from Jurassic Park daughter, Lex's daughter, that she might have been Lex's daughter or something. And that would have been, and see again, that would have been a cooler pull than what we got.
Than what they did, yeah. But yeah, Claire, like
it's fine.
Yeah, like I'm not like 100% sure if her arc, if they maybe should have like dialed it down a little, or because you know in the first one she was all about assets, and now
save,
and then she's trying, like when she's talking to like the congresswoman that the other paleo veterinarian's having trouble empathizing with, she's like, well, are you a mother and all of this? So it's like, where did this all come from?
Well, I mean, it kind of makes sense in some regards because she was a seller. That's what she did.
Yeah.
She sold the Indominus Rex to those corporations, and now she's just zeroing in her talents somewhere else.
Yeah.
That being said, it was kind of emotional, like assault, and that was bad.
But anyway. Yeah, I was just kind of like, is this 100% earned? I don't know.
Welcome, Billy, and welcome, Brandon. Thank you for joining us, gentlemen.
All right, so our next grab, this one, what did you call this guy?
Hackerman.
Hackerman.
Yeah.
I forgot his character's name because that's kind of a trope of all these Jurassic World movies is we don't know anyone's names.
We know one name. Alan.
He's not in this.
I know.
But yeah, Hackerman. So what was your gripe with Hackerman?
So Hackerman is like got the most fortunate power in the world, and that's the fact that like he just kind of gets swept up and along and everything goes okay for him for the most part. Yeah, I know he's in trouble, but like he gets caught by one of the dudes on the boat, and the dude on the boat's just like, oh, you're one of the ship crew, right? Come help us break down these things. He's like, yeah, okay. And then somehow he shows up later in the lab. In a lab suit.
Like, how does this keep happening?
Like, you could have this series of wacky events of him getting from point A to point B. Like, I imagine there's like 4 other career changes in the middle of the scene that we don't have him.
Yeah, the thing I did like about his character is that, like, he was so cowardly. And I like it when they make a male character cowardly, because usually in the way pop culture goes, it's the other way around with like the big brave man. And it was nice to see that the female character was the toughest nails one that could get stuff done. And this guy was talented at what he did. He was a good hacker.
He was still brave, but he had like that normal common sense that the average human adult would have.
So the T-Rex is dead, right? Like there's no way she could be alive. And all those, he had some funny lines, but
he reminded me,
but definitely the way too convenient falling into these situations.
That was really my only gripe. It was just like we left him being ship crew, and we have to help him and find him. And then like later, like one of them walks into the lab, and there he is.
It's just there.
He's in a lab suit and everything.
Just there.
Other than that, he was fine. It's interesting because it reminded me with him constantly talking about the T-Rex. In one of my old Pathfinder games, I had a medical doctor character type person who grew up still very superstitious of the folklore he listened to, including a creature known as the Sandpoint Devil.
Oh, yeah.
So every time something bad happened, my character was like, what's the Sandpoint Devil? And anytime someone else was like, we got to be careful of the Sandpoint Devil, I'm like, don't even say that name.
Don't say her name.
So.
All right, and so
this is Ashley's gripe.
This is a real dinosaur.
Yeah, you were convinced leaving the theater. Like, that must have been another one of their genetic hybrids.
Yeah, like, why didn't they tell us about this other genetic hybrid? This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in the fossil record. It's got these little bull horns, and this picture does not capture his little useless arms or her. The arms are so little. Even the T-Rex has more useful arms than this little buddy. It's just so sad. Like, why would you clone this thing? Why? I mean, he is cool looking with his little horns. The Carnotasaur, the meat-eating bull. But he just looks... I just felt bad for him and his kind. Just pathetic. Just why? But yeah, this looked like the fakest dinosaur. And I think this kind of sums up like, I know they're trying to show us new and magical things, but are they just running out of the classic dinosaurs to show us that they haven't shown us yet? Oh no, we already expunged the Triceratops, the Ankylosaurus, the Stegosaurus, T-Rex. Let's pull from the bottom of the action figure barrel, and this is what we're doing.
Yep.
Like, I get you gotta show new things, but I don't know. He just bothered me, or she. I don't know which gender. I don't know the pronouns of this one. Because I would imagine life has found a way in 3 years.
Yep.
So there could be a lot of breeding going on. All right. And then I think the final gripes rely on the Indoraptor. The surprise, we did it again.
Yeah.
We've
the better Indominus.
Yes, it's like we made it smaller
and smarter,
but it was like, and this is like the some of the gripes from some of the other Raptor stuff is like where it was too smart. Like this is the most Mr. Pilkington of the creatures.
You call her Mrs. Pilkington.
Yeah. And if you don't know what Mr. Pilkington is, we've said it in every episode. You have to watch The Critic.
It's free to watch on YouTube.
Not the Nostalgia Critic.
No.
It's actually called The Critic. All the old people will know what we're talking about.
An animated series from Fox.
We will find out the episode number and tell y'all later.
Starring John. I mean, they're all free on YouTube. Just go binge the show. It's great.
It's awesome. Anyway, so yeah, this Indoraptor is like the most Mr. Pilkington because it's like not even acting like an animal. Like, yes, this looks cool for like a picture. Like, look at the creepy monster under the bed kind of aesthetic, which I love from the director. Like, he's very good at that. But like, this is so unrealistic.
Like it knows she sees it, and he's just playing with her.
And it's like, no, you're supposed to be like a.
On one flip, though, if I made devil's advocate, this Indoraptor situation,
I guess.
I did enjoy that it played dead.
That was pretty cool.
That was fun, and it was one of those almost Marvel movie breaking moments where he's like, I'm gonna get this tooth, and it opens one eye and you see its tail raising in the background.
That bit of dramatic irony was great.
Yeah.
And I think the other big gripe about these movies is like these creatures are just supposed to be, they're supposed to be creatures.
They're scary enough on their own.
They're scary enough on their own. You don't have to actually make them into Godzillas and werewolves and whatever kind of creatures that have a vendetta against mankind.
We're just going in at this point. We're going into Resident Evil waters, where going from what was like a pharmaceuticals and science experiment to like creating bioorganic weapons. And I'm not saying it's a positive thing. I'm just saying that's what it's becoming now.
But it's just frustrating because it's just what was really great about the series, especially like the one. The movie that everybody can agree on that's good, the first one, and not Jurassic World, but just Jurassic Park. If they had just left it alone, it'd still be fine. Like those creatures were just acting like they would. Mm-hmm. And sure they're genetic hybrids or whatever, but they're acting like any wild animal that's going to get loose.
Instinct still takes over.
Yeah, where these things are like the Spinosaur did it in Jurassic 3. And this one does it, Indominus Rex did it, where they're like on a vendetta hunt against whatever they're looking for, and that's just not going to happen. Animals are going to go for the thing that's convenient.
Yep.
And it's just ridiculous. Ridiculous.
All right, so before we move to likes, I'm going to check in with the chat, which has been rather active.
Nice.
So, like I said, Brandon and Billy came in. Billy really enjoyed the dude's scream. Janine was on saying that Owen was even on Malcolm's boat, basically, like let them all die. Mm-hmm. Until Claire blue guilts him, and I'm like, that's blue guilt is a perfect way.
She's using that pathos against him. We learn about that in school and rhetoric and whatnot.
Yep. One moment. Anywho, Billy wants the dude scream dubbed in for Rexy every once in a while. That would be hilarious. Brandon says it would make more sense for him to go for Claire instead of Blue, and that probably also would have ended up happening. I mean, I think that ends up what he does, because she's like, "Well, I'm going whether you go or not."
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what shifts him to going. But honestly, that is one of the side gripes that we didn't really have a slide for, because how do you have a slide for that? This movie is basically Lost World.
Yeah,
it's Lost World for Jurassic World.
It's Lost World, but I think that what it has that's better than Lost World, I know, is that they get off the island quicker, and it makes more sense why they would all be off of the island versus in the Lost World. And I think Screen Junkies summed this up pretty well in their Cram It series. It's like, what? Why is the movie over or not over now?
The movie feels chaotic.
Yeah, where this one is like, okay, well, there's a reason why we have to keep following this thread, because it was a double cross versus, well, everybody escaped. Okay, why did you have this T-Rex thing happen?
How do we still have an hour left?
Yeah, like this, because especially that T-Rex San Diego thing's not in the book, so why do we have this ridiculousness happening?
Billy wants to say Claire was feeling kind of blue.
Always with the puns.
Call back to Lost World. Malcolm going for Sarah. Yeah, I should have kept reading before I even mentioned that. Billy says it stinks, and I would imagine that has to do with our commentary on
the critic.
Fantastic show. Yes, make up some crap about New Island. What happened to Isla Sorna? Hope they address it in the third film because they claimed all the films are canon. I had heard the director and writer were going in pretending that Lost World and Jurassic Park 3 didn't exist.
Yeah,
that's something
that was the impression I had heard for the first one as well.
Honestly, it's not Star Wars. I don't care about canon. How come Claire is a completely different character? I think it's just the guilt that sits in. It is a bit extreme, but I think it has a lot to do with it. It's kind of Owen's fault that she feels such guilt because Owen and even Mr. Maserani were like, these are living creatures. We do need to treat them like living creatures, et cetera, et cetera. And seeing one die right in front of her might have affected her really heavily.
Yeah.
So.
But maybe if there was some better evidence of that in World.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think that's what they were going for. It just may not have been conveyed as well.
Yeah, and then like another gripe that I forgot about was like, it seems like with Blue and like the things that they're doing with her, it's like, is there really enough evidence in the first movie to support that like she's basically acting like a cat?
It feels like they are safer just reproducing Blue multiple times so they get, or reproducing raptors multiple times until they get the same desired results and going from there. It would save them more money than sending this entire squad over there
to get Blue,
just to get Blue. Because in the end, it's funny because they make this huge deal, like this big freaking deal that like, well, we need Blue because of the maternal instinct thing. But in the end, Wu just abandons it, like, whatever, just get a blood sample. I don't care.
Yeah, because their whole point of they need Blue and not just her blood is so that she can
like be maternal for a maternal imprint.
Yeah, to be a maternal figure for whatever new Indoraptors that they breed, because they're basically implying that the one that they've created is too wild. They'll basically exterminate that one.
Yeah.
That happens in science all the time, unfortunately. But Blue will be a mother figure and imprint on these and be the alpha. But the problem is, and maybe this is being too scientific, whatever, it's what I thought. Blue never actually had a mother of her own. If she was raised by Owen, and he's a human, and sure, they saw him as the alpha, but these creatures, if they were raised in isolation and they weren't raised out in a paddock in the wild, as we see like the Triceratops with its baby, they're not going to learn how to be a parent.
Yep.
Without having that instinct. And you see that with animals in the real world. Like I had a cat growing up that after it had been abandoned by its own mother, that was the only mothering. It knew the mothering up to that week of life. And then after that, it could not do anything else for its litter of kittens. And we had to kind of help her with that. Blue does not know how to be a mother. So their plan was terrible, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, it has a kernel of not a bad idea, like wanting to get Blue's genetic material, that's fine. But like them being like, we also need the maternal imprint and et cetera, it's just that you're better off trying to because genetic differentiation happens. You're better off trying to just basically train up a new Blue. It's a better, safer method. But, when has Jurassic Park been about safer methods?
And again, it's a thing. If you don't think too hard about this movie, it's fine.
Yeah.
You won't care about any of this stuff. But if you think a little too hard, it's like, wait, no. Don't trick me with your dinosaur nostalgia and make me like what happened in this movie. How dare you? How dare you?
Right. All right, are we ready to move on to likes?
Yeah, because we actually did like stuff from this movie.
Yes, we were complaining about it, but ultimately, I really enjoyed this movie.
We're good at falling for nostalgia.
Yes.
So of course, our paleo veterinarian.
Yeah, paleo veterinarian.
Yeah,
which is a profession now, probably.
Yeah, and again, how did she know how to do all these paleo veterinary things if she's never been to the dinosaur island? Whatever. So she's seeing the dinosaurs for the first time, and so we always have to have that whimsy and wonder. And I liked it. I fell for the pathos.
Yeah.
And then we kind of see like a bigger shot of that. And I really love Zia is the character's name. I thought she was great. Loved her. One of my favorites. I would buy her action figure.
I would too. Of course, we get Dr. Ian Malcolm being Dr. Ian Malcolm.
Who's literally only in the movie for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, the trailer kind of plays it up. And not just the trailer, but like they were like, Malcolm's going to be in this movie. And we're like, cool.
Yay. He's basically the equivalent of phoning in your part like Laura Linney did.
He's the bookend.
In the other movie.
So,
he had some important things to say, of course.
Basically, let him die.
Yeah, let him die.
And
these things are extinct, so let's let nature happen. Let's let life find a way.
It's interesting because there is a deep point in this movie that I think is handled like a child would handle a deep meaning or deep concept, where it's like, is everything that's happening wrong or right to these dinosaurs? Like, there are huge ramifications either way. They didn't ask to be reborn, but he's basically ultimately saying like it's kind of us or them, and if we let them live,
they will
could
take
be
over.
us.
Yeah. But yeah, I liked seeing him again. I thought that I felt that they did his character justice, where if taking into account, if you only even take into account his one appearance in Jurassic Park, like if you pretend that Lost World didn't happen, it would make total sense for his character to behave this way, because he saw the devastation that these creatures did when things were supposed to go right and they didn't. And when they had the tools necessary to try to handle the situation, the wide world does not have the tools to handle this. So no, he's totally justified. And I felt like it was a good extension of his character. It was believable that after all these years, he would feel this way.
Yep.
And I'd imagine the other ones would feel this way too.
Yeah. I think Grant would be like, do we have another island?
Yeah, like, can we go put them somewhere else?
Is there just another island we can dump them on? But Malcolm's very firm in his no, they need to go.
They need to go.
Just some quick commentary. Janine agrees with the bookends mentality. Beginning sequence is great. Felt so classic Jurassic Park. Billy wonders if the Brachiosaur is the original from Jurassic Park in the previous scene that we had. I don't know. Maybe not, but it would be kind of a cool pull.
Oh, man, that would make it even more sad.
He's in it for some voiceover, essentially a glorified cameo. From the Blum of Gold. Fair. And then Alan.
All right, yeah. So speaking of the, these are some apatosaurs.
But
you can tell by their heads, their skulls.
You can?
Yes, I can.
Of course
I know
can.
the dinosaurs.
No.
Since Randall's not here, somebody has to be the expert. So I love the scene of like all the different stampeding away and the little faces. You can tell that they're upset.
They don't know what's going on.
So upset, so sad. And then like the little ankylosaur, when it falls into the water with like a big splash, and then it starts paddling like, oh no, oh no, oh no. No.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool. And all the dinosaurs looked great.
Yeah. They really stepped up their game for the design work.
Yeah, they did a lot of like gigantic like puppets, animatronics of all the dinosaurs of the various types. So this was definitely a step up from things like Jurassic Park 3, where any new dino that they didn't already have in stock was like, and CGI.
Yep.
So these all the characters looked great. And of course,
Rexy,
taking
down your least favorite on the island.
Yes, she showed her or him or whatever. Yes, the original T-Rex is still alive, even though they thought, well, because they made a point. You don't know how long these things live in captivity, and when they're fed, a good diet consistently. And then what I like about her character design is that you can see that she has new scars. Yep. From the fight with the Indominus Rex. So at least there is continuity when it comes to the dinos.
You see her now a veteran of 1,000 dino wars.
Been living on the edge so long, where the winds of limbo roar.
Where the winds of her roar.
And
but
she's
yes,
used up all her weapons. But her armor's not quite destroyed.
This scene was impressive. And it's what they use for the trailer.
Yes, this is what made me cry every time in the trailer. It's like, I love dinosaurs so much.
And her roar just...
Yes, and again, it's not scientifically accurate. Now they would sound like a big goose.
But it sounds so cool.
But who cares? It's a movie.
You mean, was it Cobra Chicken?
Cobra Chicken, yeah. That's from, what was that on Twitter? That one meme
online, yeah.
Yeah, like somebody didn't know the name for...
like a goose, so they called it Cobra Chicken.
A Cobra Chicken, because it was mean.
Yep.
But yeah, I love the Rexy. She is the secret hero of the franchise.
Yep.
Because like literally they were all about to die, and who comes? She's like, why do I always have to save you people?
Right?
Every time I have to save you. And then she's like, oh crap, I gotta go. I don't have time to eat y'all. One day though.
One day.
And then I liked seeing Little Blue.
Yep.
I thought it was cute.
That I love that they showed the other, and this was, again, we should have put this in a gripes, the whole like empathy thing. But I do love the preciousness of like when Owen pretends to be sad or upset, one of the other raptors tries to jump him.
Yeah,
but when he tries for Blue, Blue's like,
oh,
what's
no,
up, man?
Wrong, sir?
What's
sir,
up?
What's wrong? I love you. But yeah, basically acting like a cat.
Yep.
Acting like a cat. But I thought it was adorable. And then we get to see these moments where, like, because Blue gets shot because idiots when they're trying to capture her and it's not going as planned.
You say idiots, but I think in that circumstance I might do the same.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, they shot her and they can't remove the bullet until they can get like some blood, and we'll talk about that moment later. But it's so sad because at one point you actually see like a little tear coming out of her eye as they're doing the surgery. And it's just like, oh.
Because she doesn't understand.
Yeah.
Like she understands that she's probably safe because Owen's there and he's like trying to comfort her. Mm-hmm. But she doesn't understand what's happening.
Yeah. And I just thought it was a beautiful little moment. It pulled on my heartstrings.
There's a lot of little things in this that were really fantastic. That were done really well. It's just, moving on, more likes.
And then another like when he has to go and get she needs a theropod blood because they're in the
theropod carnivore blood.
Yeah, theropod carnivore blood because of course this is uncharted territory,
and it would be similar enough to be safe.
Yeah, she thinks it'll be similar enough to be safe, and then to even keep it safer, something that has 3 toes.
Yep.
So I think there's one on the thing. And of course, it's Rexy. Again, secret hero of the franchise.
Yep.
And
a giving love.
And then like there's a lot of scary moments in this. But one of the things I liked, and they never talked about it in the movies before this point, but they did talk about it in the books, is that these things smell terrible.
Yep.
I just love that he pointed out that she stinks.
And it's that sickening sweet smell of the carnivore.
Yes, they're big creatures. It's not like they're taking a little shower every day. These things would smell terrible.
Yep.
I just like that they pointed that out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm weird. And of course, any scenes with Rexy are the best scenes.
Yep. I do love that, like, it's the first time we see someone technically riding a T-Rex. She has to crawl up on her back.
Yes, and then it's like the slow realization of like, oh no. Oh no, we are, you know what?
Oh no.
No. Don't wake up, because it's like that moment. She's sedated, and then as soon as she sees a threat, that's when you wake up real quick.
Yep.
Wake up real quick. And then going back to some of the framing that Bayona does, really capturing the almost like
magical feel,
fantasy creepiness. Especially with the little girl's bedroom, it kind of has like these really cool wallpapers that remind you of like a secret garden or
like a castle.
And again, it's like in a big mansion. So I did like the framing of, even though the Indoraptor does things that are kind of ridiculous, like earlier when he's creeping up on her, and he does another little creep up on her when he's like messing with her hair when she, super risk of almost getting mauled through the cage.
Yeah.
But I this is a well-directed movie.
Yeah. Just maybe not a well-written movie.
Yeah, exactly. And then we can kind of see more of the room here. And then when Blue busts in to save the day.
Yep.
Versus the Indoraptor.
The entire fight, I was like, how's she gonna win? She needs Rexy there. She needs her best friend there.
Well, and then like, they're literally between a rock and a hard place, and so Deus Ex Bluina comes to save the day, which I enjoyed, even though it's ridiculous. It was fun.
It was.
All right, and that's it for our likes. So we did like quite a few things from the movie, like parts, but as a whole, it doesn't really add up to a good movie. But we had fun with it,
Yep.
And I know that's another thing that kind of is like, well, fun doesn't equal good. Well, we're recognizing that it doesn't. We can't help how we felt.
Yeah.
I had fun watching the movie. I know the movie's not good.
No, it is mechanically not great.
I know the difference.
Exciting. And it made my heart jump a few times.
Yes, especially when they fall into the water and they're in the gyrosphere. I have a huge fear of water and drowning, so I was hyperventilating. And
we knew they would win.
Yeah, because we knew they'd get out. Yeah, we knew they wouldn't die. It's the beginning of the movie, but still, my heart.
Billy brings up that the animatronics were fantastic, and the T-Rex can't even run at 25 miles an hour. Bones are so fragile.
Yep.
Baby Blue was so cute, says Janine. They probably have halitosis, talking about the dinosaurs. Yeah,
their breath is probably bad.
I just realized Claire had the same hair change that Hope from the Ant-Man movies, the bob to a ponytail.
Oh yeah, it did look a lot better. Yeah, better hairstyle.
Bayona said something about the last act being a princess in a castle, which makes sense. Totally feels like that. So yeah, we're ready to move on to important scenes.
Yeah, all right. So the ones that we felt thematically or whatever.
Stylistically.
So one of the first ones I have is a transfusion of the T-Rex blood into Blue's blood, so that she will not die during the surgery. And so this basically is an element that messes up Wu's plan.
Yep.
Because he needed that pure
DNA
blue raptor DNA, and now that she has a transfusion, it's not like you can go like, well, it hasn't gotten to her leg yet, so let's take a leg. So her blood is infused with the T-Rex blood. So maybe that's kind of like a steroid as well. It gave her the superpowers.
Oh yeah, we like to pretend she was like juiced up on Rexy blood.
Yeah, juiced up on Rexy blood.
Yeah.
So that was a very important element to kind of foil their little plans.
Yep.
And then speaking of Wu, they captured this bone fragment from the actual site.
The Indominus itself.
And this actually opens up a door, and I didn't capture this scene, but for the mosasaur to escape, it somehow was able to survive this long.
Yep.
Without brand new food sources. The Indominus is pretty big, so I'm sure that was several meals.
Probably
for good old Moses.
And probably other small water dwelling creatures.
Yes. And so this is the whole reason why they were able to clone the Indoraptor, and then again taking what was supposed to be a big scary monster and compacting it into a small scary monster.
A smarter scary monster.
And so he actually steals this to try to go on to his next plan of whatever he's going to do to ruin the world.
Hey,
as a true villain.
Make it better.
Yeah, ruin the world. And of course, these idiots are auctioning off all of the dinosaurs that they've captured to various shady elements from around the world, whether they be governments or the mafia.
Or corporations.
Or both.
But, let's be honest. What wouldn't Armin Zola do, from Winter Soldier?
Yes. I was just thinking of the same character, or like the other guy that barely gets any screen time in the Hunger Games. That's the other color commentator.
Yep.
Besides Caesar Flickerman.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so they're like, and we got a special treat for you. This one's not for sale. And then, of course, Russia immediately, $10 million.
The Russian guy who wants it was like,
and then everyone else is starting to bid for it. And then the other, I didn't get you can kind of see him in the corner where the little arrow is. The guy that's like the Lockwood.
The guy who's in charge of the Lockwood estate.
Yes, who's a total jerk.
Randall popped in to say hi. He's on break.
Yay!
Welcome, Randall.
So yeah, these idiots are like, oh yeah, go ahead and sell the dangerous creature. And Wu is so angry. It's like, you can't sell this.
Yeah, the totally not Christian Slater guy.
That fits. And so this kind of shows just how what the people in charge of the Lockwood Foundation, or whatever you want to call it, the corporation, they do not realize that like the danger that they're putting people in by putting this kind of creature out there untested.
Yep.
And shows that they also do not have a heart, because they're selling like these innocent creatures at auction, but also they're just really dumb for doing this.
Yep.
And so this leads to like the final act of the movie of when all chaos breaks out.
Like it do in a Jurassic movie.
And then, of course, because like all the dinosaurs get freed because of the little girl's actions.
We throw back to his earlier comments. And
welcome to Jurassic World, because everybody knows that, like, I don't know if this is supposed to be like the same hearing, and it's just like now we're seeing the end of it, and it's just supposed to be like one of those ominous tellings, but
I think that's what it is.
Soon people will realize that, oh no, I'm really hoping Owen and Claire called someone like, oh, by the way, a bunch of carnivores and gigantic herbivores have escaped. And, maybe we should probably do something about it.
Right.
Also, some pteranodons and other pterosaurs. So, yeah, bad times for everybody.
Yep.
But, yeah, he lets us know, like, welcome to Jurassic World. And, yep, it's a Jurassic World, all right. Because we see that the T-Rex has made it to the zoo, and is now trying to fight the king of the jungle, and they're like having a little roar match, which I thought was hilarious. Another gripe that I just remembered is they spoiled so many things in the trailers for these movies.
Yeah, this scene should have been in the trailer.
The first trailer was fine, and then the second trailer revealed the plot twist, and then this one revealed like a bunch of cool. The third one revealed like too many cool scenes. I would have loved to have been surprised by this in the theater.
Yeah.
But yeah, we see her, and I think so yeah, another important scene. This one hurts so much. The saddest scene is they're like leaving on the boat with all the dinosaurs. You just see this lone brachiosaur. And sorry for the quality. Somebody probably stole this picture from a theater. That wasn't us, because we don't do that.
But it's not great in the whole movie, just a picture.
But so yeah, like on Twitter, if you like search Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom saddest scene, you'll see so many people talking about this moment. But of course, there's other people that are like, I didn't cry.
We don't understand why you don't have a soul, is what I'm saying. No, in all honesty.
We're kidding, but seriously. But we're also kidding.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was crying, and then at one point you see like it go up on its hind legs. So I'm thinking that's what Billy was referring to. Is it the same one? It looked a little small to be the brachiosaur from the first movie. It looked like it could be a juvenile.
Yeah.
But it was just so sad. I saw people comparing this scene to Artax in Neverending Story.
Yep.
And then, of course, the saddest dinosaur moment from The Land Before Time. Super, super sad. Of course, those were apatosaurs. Brachiosaurs are different. But either way, a big, long-necked dinosaur died.
Yep.
Sad. So sad.
Cordella, sad.
And it's like crying, too. Like, it's yelling, like, hey, help me.
Like, it kind of gets it could get away.
Like, he doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know that he should jump in the water. And he keeps trying to, like, go higher. And he gets up on his hind legs. It's so bad. It's too sad. All right, let's check back in the chat before we go on to meme potential.
Let's see. Billy says Blue had super blood like in Star Trek Into Darkness. Well, Toby Jones with his terrible accent. Brandon says villain was terrible. Was company anyway. Engine was out of business at this point, I think. His business model is stealing dinosaurs and selling them on the black market. Yeah, he was in charge of the one dude's foundation.
Yeah, the Lockwood.
The Lockwood Foundation. And I think ultimately his plan was, instead of following what his boss wanted him to do, which was grab the dinosaurs and take them to another island, which probably never existed in the first place.
Yeah, that's probably a lie.
He was going to get the dinosaurs, sell them
Mm-hmm.
and make more and do that.
Yeah, just keep selling dinosaurs and keep making dinosaurs.
Yes, his plan was terrible. It was not a great plan. We all know this. Let's see. Billy has a problem with a little girl. Yeah, we do too. And her decision was, though heartfelt.
Yes, because she says, like, they're just like me.
And she's not wrong.
They're genetically engineered to look like a thing.
Which I think goes to the underlying message of this is like, if science goes this far, like, where's the limit?
Yes.
Where's the limit on this kind of usage? Would she not have rights because she's a cloned organism?
Yeah. There's a lot of gray areas.
Masrani went under after Jurassic World, Randall says. Randall said, no, I believe probably in response to the Brachiosaur. Billy said, this made me sad. Just was in the theater. I was like, I'm sad. Yeah, no. That's kind of like a, no.
And then that scene is so long.
And it howls and it bellows. And you're just like,
no.
He's like, guys, wait.
Come back. You left me behind. And I think that also represents the fact that a lot of other creatures got left behind because it's not like they took everyone.
No.
They just basically kind of Noah's Ark. It's like one of each.
Randall says they said it was the original.
Oh.
From Jurassic Park.
Now I'm even more sad. Because it did the whole hind leg thing. Yeah.
Billy, Dr. Grant, my dear Dr. Ellie Sadler, welcome to... Oh, no! There's a reason they didn't have that one. Thought it was kind of funny. The dino was all, hey, wait up. And now I'm a monster, says Brandon Hanna.
Oh.
I'm not saying that one, Billy. You're a monster.
No.
Do you think you should have done gymnastics?
Is it about the other movie?
Is.
Okay, yeah. We're not allowed to talk about that movie.
We're gonna have to end the stream with Ashley crying in a pile of tears.
It will not be good.
Yeah. And Randall says it hurts. It does. It hurt pretty bad.
I'm glad our people have shown up that are like, yes, I'm sad about that, because all the other people on Twitter are like, that didn't move me at all.
Whatever, that wasn't a big deal.
Like, what? No. How? Sad. Well, I really love dinosaurs, so it's it's sad.
Moving on to meme potential.
All right, so we did this with The Last Jedi. I don't think we did it with Solo, but I think this is something that we'll be bringing back for any time we do a new movie, is like, what do we think will be memed?
Yep.
And already the saddest dinosaur thing is probably going to be heavily memed. I've already seen like 2 different works of art based off of that scene on Twitter. So that's definitely up there, but... This little moment with Claire and Owen where it's like, it's going to be your fault when I die.
Yeah.
I just feel like that will be memes somehow, and like one of those little conversational back and forth memes.
Yep. Remember, if I die, you told me to go to the grocery store.
Yeah, something dumb like that. This little guy, who is not a pachycephalosaur, but a different holotype. But probably... This
is my favorite, though. This little bonehead dude.
Also... We'll get to that later in dinosaur facts, but yeah, you liked him. So, what do you think his meme is gonna be?
I like to imagine him like every scene he's in is just like, "Hey, you guys." Typical internet commentary is just break through the wall. I don't know. What about you?
I think like more of like a picture of him where he got like hit like a metal, and then he looked like a little up, like not all there.
Yeah.
I think maybe they'll. Like maybe like jumping into like when you jump into this thread and you haven't read everything.
He's out of his element, Donnie.
He's out of his element, Donnie.
Donnie the dinosaur.
And of course, Jeff Goldblum is going to get
anything, honestly.
Like especially when it's like you knew it was a bad idea, but you still did it anyway. Life finds a way. You didn't think about whether you you thought about that you could, not whether you should.
Cal says Kool-Aid Man in future Jurassic Worlds with that dinosaur. He is kind of the Kool-Aid Man.
Yeah, I can see that.
Wreck-It Ralph. Okay, so this guy.
We didn't have him.
But it was really... I can't remember the actor's name. You remembered it earlier.
It's Ted Levine is the actor.
We recognize him primarily from Monk, where he played Captain Stottlemyre,
who was
the lead detective or whatever of the department that he worked at. But other movie fans may recognize him as Buffalo Bill from the movie
Silence of the Lambs.
Thank you.
And so yeah, Buffalo Bill, I think probably kind of a problematic character in cinematic history.
A little bit.
Because
he's a idolized serial killer.
Yeah.
But it's funny because, you know, he collected things from the people he killed in that one.
Yeah.
And he's collecting teeth in this one. So we're just like, maybe you should stop playing characters that collects things from people that you hurt, because that's terrible.
Yeah, so definitely his own hubris, because he's like collecting the different teeth of the dinosaurs. So I could just see this being, you know, just like some kind of yelling meme.
You
maybe.
Want to hunt teeth with me?
I want to hunt teeth.
I'd hunt teeth with me. But yeah.
When you thought you could get away with stealing people's rightfully owned materials or something.
Next job, Tooth Fairy.
But yeah, I think this will get memed, and of course this is gonna get memed.
Yeah,
like people any kind of internet fighting or just in general, some kind of yelling meme.
Yep. Typical internet discussion.
Yes, exactly. Typical internet discussion. And I think that's it for
the memes. We're on our franchise.
Yeah, so I want to compare all of the movies. We forgot to do that with Jurassic World. But we can see with the original trilogy, as the budgets went up, the worldwide box office went down, as did not only the cinema scores, so audiences' expectations kept getting more disappointed in the original trilogy, and then also the critic and audience scores went down. So for Jurassic Park, it was both those scores were fresh and pretty close to each other. They're both rotten for Lost World and pretty close to each other. And Jurassic Park 3, they're nowhere near each other, but they're both way rotten. And as we see so far with Jurassic World's franchise, the budgets have gone up. We won't know the worldwide box office totals yet, but it looks like if it holds true and if it's, you know, if people go see it, it could maybe get closer to like $1 billion, but I'm not sure if it'll make it there because the press on this is real bad.
Yeah.
And so the critic score is when we checked this last night was at 50%. This could have changed. But the audience score so far is 62. So if there's people that are like so excited about this that they'll go and see it again, because the cinema score is holding pretty steady as well, meaning that expectations for the audiences that were polled, those were met for them. So this could be one of those things where there is a decent chunk of people that dislike it, but it's going to have its fans. Mm-hmm. So I'd be interested to see if this one makes it to the $1 billion mark, because I know that was one of the commentary I saw online where they joked around with the auction. It's like, well, the auction is not going, like, you know, it's funny that the auction's going to earn more than this is going to earn worldwide. Yeah. So I don't know. It could have potential. I don't know what foreign markets it hasn't reached yet, but this seems like it would play well internationally.
Well, it's made 550 billion of its dollars worldwide already. Mm-hmm. It took 4 viewings for Randall to put this one at number 3 for him. Billy says it's at 49% now.
Okay,
so dropped a percentage
for the critic score.
I'd imagine critics, yes.
Yeah. What if you could look up the audience score for us or whatever? That'd be cool. If not, that's fine too. But when I checked it last night, that's what it was. But it could always change.
Yeah. Trying to look at Janine had another meme idea for the the Buffalo Bill one. It puts the teeth in the bandana. Nice. This is probably my least favorite of the franchise. I like this one more than 3. Mm-hmm. And good luck at work for the rest of the time, Randall.
Thank you for stopping by.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I like this. I think I like this more than Lost World and Jurassic Park 3, and I don't know if I like it more than Jurassic World.
Yeah.
I think there's more rewatch potential for Jurassic World than there is for this one.
Yes. Maybe. I don't know. I would have to see it again to determine if there's more rewatch potential, because honestly, with this one, it moves so quickly. It kind of suffers from the same problem Infinity War suffered from, where like it's X long and it wastes like maybe a minute of it. The entire movie is just chock full of stuff going on, which is fine. Yeah. It's one of those movies that's exhausting.
Yeah, and then another thing I didn't have time to get, but does everybody know that there's an end credits for this movie?
Yeah, there's a final scene. It's there.
Yeah, it just kind of proves the point that these dinosaurs have gotten everywhere. We see a bunch of the pterosaurs in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And so this kind of has like the more realistic ending versus Jurassic Park 3, where it's like they're going to escape and Grant's all excited, where like everybody in this movie knows that this is bad.
Yeah, this is terrifying.
That they've escaped.
Yep.
And I guess they can't prosecute the little girl because, she's little. And she's not really human.
I mean, she is
but but they can't.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you didn't, I'd be curious to see, because a lot of people left our theater if anybody knew that this had end credits.
Yep. And while we're used to that with Marvel, we've kind of gotten trained to buy Marvel to do that with almost every movie.
Yeah, I double checked to make sure, because if there wasn't an end credits, I would be like, let's leave.
Yep. So, all right. Billy says he stayed till the end. Vegas, baby. Right.
All right, are we ready for some dinosaur facts?
Let's do the dino facts.
All right. So, we had some different dinosaurs in this one that we had not seen yet. The one that trapped the Claire and Hackerman or had gotten through the sewer system, which I think they think is a Spinosaur, but it's really Baryonyx, which is an early Cretaceous dinosaur in the same order and suborder as things like Velociraptor and, of course, a Spinosaur. Its snout and its environment leads paleontologists to believe that it's a piscivore, and it might have had proto-feathers on its its head. But in the movie, they depict it as having like a crocodile-style covering.
Yeah, it's scaling.
Scaling and such on its underbelly and its back, but it most likely would have looked a little more bird-like in the real world. And then our favorite friend from the Gripes, the Carnotaurus. Again, another similar creature to things like Tyrannosaur or Raptor. Like we said earlier, its name is meat-eating bull because of its little horns. And the specimen that they found in the wild, for lack of a better term, in the fossil record, a little smaller than what's portrayed in the movie. And here you can kind of see how its little arms.
Yep, it's tiny little arms.
So useless. So I don't know how this thing survived. The one that is closely related and actually they think is a juvenile pachycephalosaur is the Stygimoloch, I think is how you say that. I'm not 100% certain because I had never seen one that quite looked like that. It had definitely portrayed in the movie as having like a lot larger horns, which is in the fossil record. But paleontologists believe that this is just a juvenile pachycephalosaur and not its own like holotype. But that's kind of like one of those little things. Paleontologists agree and disagree about a lot of different things in the fossil record.
Yeah.
And they're still not certain whether with its small dome, if it would have been headbutting people a lot. And another one that I think we only see in a fossil, we did see this one in the movie, the Sinoceratops, which is very similar to a Triceratops, but it only has a single horn, but it still has the frills, and it has little horns around the frills. One of the dinosaurs that I had growing up in my little action figure set. And then last but not least, from the late Jurassic, the Allosaurus, who is thought to be one of the most dangerous predators of that era. It's often said to be just basically a smaller T-Rex, but they're not quite like 100% the same. It looks like its forelimbs are a lot longer.
A little more developed.
And again, it was a lot smaller than T-Rex. But those are all the new dinosaurs that we actually get to see in the movie that have a part. They captured a juvenile of the Allosaurus, and he tries to like attack the gyrosphere as well.
Yep.
A different one. But yeah, those are all the new things.
And that was the new movie. And ultimately, it's fine. It's nothing to write home about. I would say I like this. It's probably my second favorite, if only because I think it captures kind of the fun a little better than some of the other ones do. And you have most of the characters involved in it being like, no, these are bad. We need them not to be here anymore. Especially Owen, who was kind of like, no, they just need to be let go. And then, of course, as it was saying, he was blue guilted. Billy had to leave. Sorry, you had to go, Billy. Miss you. But yeah, all in all, I'd give it like a 6.5, close to a 7.
Yeah, we don't really numerically rank all the movies anymore. We used to do that on a different show we had.
Yeah, but like if I were to rate it out of 10, because I did like it. It's just I acknowledge it's.
Yeah, I had a fun time in the theater, but yeah, I know it's not a good movie.
Nope.
I'm fully aware that something can be fun and dumb.
We had considered going to see it a second time. We ended up not having time and not really wanting to make the extra time.
Yeah, because sometimes I feel that if you see, at least for me, when I see things too close together, then it's like annoying. Like I get annoyed because it's like, okay, well now I remember all these things that happened. So some distance is good.
But yeah, so that's it for Jurassic June. We have our last question for our giveaway. And it is
just a basic, if you like the movie, what was your favorite part, or what did you like best about it? If you didn't like the movie, why didn't it work for you? What did you dislike the most?
Yeah, basically. If you, whether you liked or disliked it, what did you like the most or the least? Whatever. And let us know. Leave it in the comments after this video is done uploading.
Make sure that you've left a comment on all the other videos.
I'm going to share, once we're done, I'm going to set them all up in a playlist. I'm going to share them with everyone. And I'm just keep an eye on our Geeks to My Nerd channel, our Twitter. Sorry, our Geeks to My Nerd Twitter, where I'm going to put them all up. And
we'll probably announce the winner on Thursday, is what we said.
Yeah, we'll do a short live stream to pull the winners, I guess, like we did with our Black Panther one. And we'll figure everything out from there. But yes, you have until Wednesday to answer the questions, all 4 questions. Each question gets you an entry. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So
yeah, because we'll be double checking all of that, and then of course the winner gets their choice of 3 prizes.
Second place gets to choose from the 2, and third place gets the remaining gift.
And again, those prizes are a box set of the movies that has the 4 movies that are out, a digital code for the movies, and then a T-Rex pop from Funko. So you get to choose what you want.
So thank you for joining us. Keep an eye on this video for the question to pop up in the description, and we'll see you guys later.
Yeah, and then before we go, next week.
Oh, right.
Next week, we continue with Infinity War and beyond, because Ant-Man and the Wasp is coming out soon. So next Sunday, Ant-Man.
One of my favorite.
And we'll probably move the time back up to
like 8 or 9 or something.
8 or 9, because the lighting is better.
And you know, we don't want to interrupt people watching like Westworld.
Well, Westworld ends today, so that's why.
Oh no.
Yeah, anyway.
My bad. So yeah, we'll do that. Then the following weekend will be Ant-Man and the Wasp. And we have some things in the works that are, we'll say, tubular.
I would say not jawsome, but just regular awesome.
Pretty tubular. One might say cowabunga.
One might say that.
So as per the usual, we've had a difficulty ending this. We just keep talking if you'll let us. And we will talk to you guys later. Keep an eye online for us. And thank you. It's been a roaring good time.